and this news may potentially lead to a flood of applicants. So to help you get ahead and get started, we want to share this timely video diving deep into the International Experience Canada program. This detailed guide will touch on things like what IEC is and its benefits, break down its categories, and will even walk you through the required documents and the general application process. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. First off, what is IEC anyway? Well, the IEC, which stands for International Experience Canada, is a type of work permit for young folks between the ages of 18 to 35 years old from more than 30 participating countries. It basically lets you travel to Canada and work there for up to 3 years, depending on your country. There are 3 main categories under the IEC: the well-known working holiday visa, the young professionals, and the international co-op. But more on them in just a bit. Now, why should you consider the IEC program? Well, I'll give you 3 reasons. Well, first, career prospects. The IEC is a game changer for your career. Working in Canada not only lets you earn, but also exposes you to a whole new world of job opportunities and experiences. Number 2, cultural exchange. It's not just about work, but also diving into Canada's incredible culture. The IEC opens doors to make lifelong memories, roam the breathtaking Canadian outdoors, and also make friends from across the globe. Finally, it leads to personal growth. Just imagine living abroad, adapting to a new environment, tackling challenges head-on. Through this experience, you'll become more independent, resilient, and confident. Overall, the IEC will shape you in ways you can't imagine. Now, if that sold you into giving IEC a shot, let me now give you an overview of its 3 main categories. First, we have the working holiday visa. So guys, this is the most sought after IEC program, and this program grants participants an open work permit, allowing you the freedom to work anywhere in Canada with no job offer required. Second, there's the Young Professionals program. This program is designed for young adults looking to gain professional work experience aligned with their field of study or career goals in Canada. Keep in mind, you will need an employer-specific work permit and a valid job offer to participate. Finally, we have the International Co-op program. The opportunity is tailored for students looking to gain hands-on experience in their field of study in Canada. Here, participants receive an employer-specific work permit, allowing them to work with a Canadian employer. And while it offers valuable career boosts, it's important to remember that this program also requires a valid job offer. Anyway, for a detailed comparison for each category under IEC, kindly refer to the table as seen on your screen. Next, let me take you to the deep end of the pool to talk about the eligibility requirements you need to qualify for the IEC. And buckle up, folks, this is gonna be a long one. Alright guys, so first off, you must know that there are over 30 countries that are part of the IEC program as seen on your screen. Most countries participate in all 3 categories of the IEC, and some can participate in 1 or even 2 categories. This flexibility is great if you're looking to extend your stay and gain valuable work experience in Canada, and such experiences can also open doors in qualifying for Canadian permanent residency programs. But guys, remember, because each country has its own specific rules, it's important to double check to see which ones you qualify for and if you can switch between IEC programs. Next, let me explain how the IEC pools generally work. So first off, it all begins with creating and submitting an online profile. So on IRCC's webpage, it will ask you to accurately fill up the form, and once complete, they will let you know which categories are available to you based on what you've chosen. Take note, you can only have 1 IEC profile at any time, but the good news is you can still be eligible for more than 1 IEC category. Now, the second step is the rounds of invitations. So IRCC conducts rounds of invitations at regular intervals throughout the year. During each round, a certain number of profiles are randomly selected from each pool, but take note, frequency and timing of these rounds can vary based on Canada's immigration goals and other factors. Now, the third step involves receiving an ITA or invitation to apply. If you are selected, you will then receive an ITA through your account on the IRCC website. And it's important to note that you have up to 10 days to accept the invitation. If you miss this window, the invitation will expire and you will need to be selected again in a future round to apply. Now, for those wondering, what if I don't get selected? What happens to me? Well, you will remain in the pool for the future rounds, but your profile will typically remain valid for 1 year or until you receive an ITA. And finally, number 4, submitting an application. So you then have 20 days from the day you accept your ITA to submit your work permit application. Make sure to complete your application along with the necessary documents and fees. Speaking of, let's quickly go over some of the essential documents needed for your application. And while the exact requirements may differ based on the category you're applying for, this is just a general overview of the common documents needed. By the way, this is going to be a long one, so we might as well take this inside. First up, you need your passport. Make sure it's valid, matches the citizenship of your IEC pool, and remains valid throughout your stay in Canada. Otherwise, renew it if it's near expiry to avoid issues with your work permit's duration. Next, CV or resume. Provide a simple one, outlining your education, qualifications, and work experience. If you want to learn how to create an effective resume, you can sign up for a free Moving to Canada account to access our comprehensive guides and templates with the links in the description. Next, digital photo. Now, I won't bore you with the specs, so I've just displayed them as seen on your screen. Next, police certificate, also known as police clearance or good conduct certificate. You must submit one for each country where you've lived for 6 consecutive months or more since turning 18. Next, completed application forms. So these are available on IRCC's website, and the specific forms that you have to fill out depend on which category you're applying for. These forms will be provided on your account, and I projected the typical forms you'll need to complete for future reference. Finally, program-specific documents. Basically, if you're applying through a specific program or organization, you may need to submit certain documents. We don't need to dive further into this, so I've just displayed a table on your screen for reference as well. Next, let's talk about the application fees. As expected, your IEC application requires a fee submission. Currently, the participation fee is this much, plus an additional 100 Canadian dollars for working holiday visa participants. For young professionals and international co-op participants, do note that employers must pay this much in employer compliance fees. And in terms of form of payment, you can pay using a credit or debit card after getting your invitation to apply. Next, let's talk about processing times. After submitting your IEC application, the current processing time for all 3 categories is 4 weeks. But remember, this doesn't include the time for providing your biometrics. Also, disclaimer, I want to remind you that even though I'm giving you the latest information on the processing times and fees, these details can change over time. So, to stay updated, it's best to regularly check the processing times page and fee list found on IRCC's website, which I've linked down below. Now, even after submitting your application, certain documents may be required from you post-application, and others are needed when you arrive in Canada to activate your work permit. So, here are a list of things you should be prepared for. First are your biometrics. This refers to your fingerprints and photos, which are usually requested after application submission. Anyway, expect a biometrics instruction letter within 24 hours of submitting your application and fees, and provide your biometrics within 30 days as instructed. Next, proof of financial support. For the IEC program, it's important to note that while you don't need proof of financial support, you do need it when you arrive in Canada to activate your work permit status. Essentially, you should have this much for your expenses and funds for a return flight, or have one already bought. Bring a recent bank statement within a week of your departure as proof, as it might be requested by immigration officers when you land in Canada. Next, port of entry letter. Once your work permit application is approved, you will receive a port of entry letter. Remember to bring this letter to Canada and present it to immigration officers upon arrival. Last but not least, health insurance. Okay, this one isn't required to apply for the IEC program, but it is required upon arrival to Canada. Oh, and remember folks, your insurance validity will match your work permit's duration, and it can't be extended any further. Also, wait until you receive your port of entry letter before buying insurance. And for affordable options, we recommend checking out Best Code Travel Insurance to find the best coverage for your needs. As we wrap up this video, let's quickly recap on the points that we've covered in this video. So, First, we now know what IEC is, its benefits, and the various categories you can apply for. We've also guided you through the essential documents and the overall application process. Remember, getting started early and being well prepared are crucial to a successful application, and with the pools now open, we do hope that this guide has been helpful. If it was, we'd appreciate your support by liking this video and sharing it, and also subscribing to our channel here at Moving to Canada. Don't forget to check out all the relevant links in the description below. Thanks for watching. We wish you all the best in your IEC journey, and we'll catch you in the next video.